Welcome to the Outlaw Bill Sports Network, the OCHO. Tonight's game on Sunday Night Football is the Dallas Cowboys against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We've got a Pittsburgh platter of a game here for us, Bill. From Dallas to Pennsylvania and back, we know one thing. They're two of the only three states in America where bouncing a check is not a crime. Anyway, welcome to the OCHO. We have a far more desirable show tonight and football spectacle than we usually do. But first, around the league. This morning, in a simulated game in London, the fake Jets were beaten by a simulated version of some other fucking team. But the real story is after the game, Coach Robert Saleh was arrested for misgendering the entire Jets team when he addressed them as a bunch of failed men. Bill, anything to say about this?
I don't know. I know nothing, Teague. I know nothing.
Oh, well, so just so everyone knows, the game was played in England. So when he said, "I expected more of you men," the British police swept right in and they're like, mate, you can't say that on the cell phone and you can't say that in public. And he's like, geez, we should go to war to get rid of your crazy freedom of speech rules. And they were just like, yeah, mate, you think you missed a few other things too along the way. Because, Robert Saleh, not the smartest guy. He's been told just recently that he's an American. So that's what he's been yelling since they arrested him. He was like, you can't arrest me. I'm the coach of the Jets. And they're like, shut up, you stupid American. He's like, oh, wait, that's right. I'm an American. You can't do this to me. So Robert Saleh learning a lot of things, not exactly learning how to run an offense. So what a disgrace. The conspiracy goes on at Langley and over at NFL headquarters. Well, it's 3 years since the Steelers had a quarterback worth talking about.
Yeah.
Will they find the answer this year? We're going to check back in on a team that I haven't watched in 2 seasons because I haven't done fantasy football. To be honest with you, we had not seen the Pittsburgh Steelers beginning to pick up the pieces, but they do have, I believe, the longest tenured coach in the NFL. We won't be checking any of these facts because we're fairly incompetent here, but we do have a game. In other incredible news from the world of sports, the Jets lost, and the Mets, about to pull off a miracle, just had 2 players collide in the outfield, but still managed to catch the ball, getting one of the 2 outs of the double play that was set up for them.
Cat. All right, Cat. I hear you.
Yes, that's right. Broadcasting the NFL is a bit like herding cats. As I open up the Cosby and ask you, my friends, if you could watch Bill on more than one device, therefore providing him with the view he needs for the watch hours. This morning, I had to break loose $15 to send my friend Bill 5 cans of wet cat food because he just won't get by on the dry cat food I had him sent. If we could just join our channel, that would help, become a channel member. We're starting to do community stuff now. And also, You know what? You would be doing a wonderful service for spreading information about the NFL. Here, we don't need to advertise drugs or alcohol to get you to watch the game. Just ourselves. We assume that the drugs and alcohol became before you chose to watch us, and we congratulate you on your choices. I have heard that there is a drug 100 times more powerful than fentanyl available in New York. To these stories, I say, where can I find an experiment with this substance? Just kidding. Don't do drugs ever, folks. They're bad. Bill, what are you doing? Are you hurting your cat? Are you literally hurting your cat?
No,
you are, aren't you?
No, she's just a cat that needs attention.
Now, see, this should change the outcome of the Jets game because Geno Smith has 20 points and he just ran for about 60 yards. Geno Smith, once the Jets quarterback, every point scored by Geno Smith should be awarded to the Jets, as well as all points scored by Sam Darnold. The real score of today's Jet game should be something like 83-0. And the Jets scored.
Sadly, the Vikings did defeat the Jets.
Yes, but their quarterback used to be the Jets quarterback. That means any points scored by the Vikings should actually be tallied for the Jets. I also want to take a moment here to blame the play-by-play guys in the booth. Rather than saying it's a pick six against the Jets, we can't just celebrate a touchdown. You have to bring everybody down by pointing out that it's put us back in our position to win the game. If we had more people and here's the problem too. The game wasn't at home. This game was played in England. We had a lot of people in the stands who did not care for strong, powerful women, and that just jinxed the game. As you know, much like Captain Marvel, the movie was destroyed after it was made by reactions of the fans rather than the script. The play-by-play guys jinxed this game when they told us the facts. They could have told us something that made us happy, but they told us what actually happened. We need to behave more like Disney and get new play-by-play guys for the Jets. It's time. This is 2 losses in a row that they've told us about. They didn't have to tell us.
Looks like the Colts beat, Jacksonville beat Colts.
Jacksonville gets a win. Jacksonville gets a win. Jacksonville gets a win. Trevor Lawrence becomes the one person with 2 first names that you can trust. Now, if we add an S to Outlaw Bill's first name, he would have 2 last names, because I assure you his last name sounds like a last name and not a first name, which is why I trust him. But he's only 1 letter away from being doubly trustworthy.
Last name.
Do you know of have you ever heard of a band called the Rolling Stones?
Yeah, maybe once or twice.
Did you know that the guitar player's name? Do you know the name of the rhythm guitar player, the original guitar player, the only other original member, not the singer in that band? What is his name? His name is now Keith Richards with an S. But if you read old Rolling Stones songs, titles, and credits, you'll see that he used to be named Keith Richard. He added the S because people simply didn't trust him because he had 2 first names. Now, look how well that's worked out. Bill, would you say that's worked out for Keith Richards?
Yeah, the man will not die.
Exactly. And that was not guaranteed until he added that S to his name. Is this woman robbing a bank?
98 yards. Touchdown on the Raiders.
I must be behind you, Bill, because I must be behind you because I'm seeing a bail bond commercial, and what they did was they threw down $5,000 in hundreds.
I'm looking at the highlights on of all places, Facebook.
Can I just say something? No Viagra commercial made me as excited and deployed as seeing that stack of hundreds with 100 after another 100 dropping on top of the stack of hundreds endlessly for the whole. And then I realized it was like for criminal bail, but I was just like, wow, look at all that hot money. I could do so much with that gorgeous money. It's like my life is now reduced to if you filled my bathtub with dimes, I would roll around with it like Dummy Moore in Indecent Proposal. With Woody Allen, with Woody Harrelson, a man smart enough to have no first name. Think of how much people trust Woody Harrelson. He's not a great actor, but he keeps getting into movies.
I tweeted out this James on X on Facebook.
Did you tweet it out with hashtag Cosby?
No, I did not.
Do it again with that, and
no, because we don't want no NF. The NF.
You're being really insane because what you're thinking is that the competitor of YouTube, Twitter, is going to stop people from cheating Twitter out of views, and they're not going to screw their hated rival, the NFL, who they want to broadcast on there. You're saying that they're going to side against their better interests just to fuck with us? My impression My impression is that the Cosby lawyers are going to need to go think about doubling the cost of the Cosby
We
lawsuit
should
if
be
and
talking
when it
about
comes.
whatever Cosme is. I don't know what that is.
Think about the damage that lawsuit would do if they had to go two paths. Like, one, prove that it happened. Two, prove I have this third party server system, and three, prove that I advertised it. Four, prove that I monetized it. I would also remind everyone whose team lost today that no NFL game score is final until Tuesday morning, when they are signed by Roger Goodell and the league president of score keeping and officiating. I suggest that if your team is lost, you re-audit the score. You know, I did not approve of the officiating of the Jet game, and I think it adds up to, like, we're seeing a lot of fixed NFL games. And we were talking to a pal of ours who earlier today, we won't name him, but he was not disagreeing at all when we were calling this fixed and fake and weird. So what I'm saying is, knowledge of this game is not as important as the fact that Bill and I are both members of the Bilderberg group and watched the actual game on Friday. We can tell you when they switch to an Xbox simulation of the game. Sometimes when you see a glitch during the game while your team is ahead, when suddenly the local team somehow gets a bunch of subjective penalties and loses, that's a PlayStation simulation slaved through an old Dreamcast. Remember the Dreamcast, Bill? The Sony Dreamcast? Remember how beautiful those were? Indistinguishable from television. They played like shit, but boy, did they look great. The Dreamcast is what they use to simulate some of the shots. It's a two-tiered system using an Xbox.
We got Snoopy Doggy Dog as Pittsburgh Steelers announcer.
Yeah, I don't know why pot smoking loser.
And by the way, talk that way about Snoop Doggy Dog. How dare you, Teague? How dare you?
I don't know why pot smoking loser.
Sing the dog pound after you.
You know what? I'll say this: he's not. He doesn't have as much street cred as Martha Stewart, who did federal time like 15 years ago. When was Snoop in jail? What's his street cred? And he can't cook. So I'm saying Martha Stewart in a fight. I want her. Snoop Dogg's like 63 years old. Martha Stewart's like 73 years old. People might feel bad about hitting her back. Buy me a minute. Confuse people. And the Mets managed to lose this fixed game as I thought they would.
Whatever happened to Roethlisberger? I wonder what happened to him.
He had to retire. He was there like maybe 2 more years than he needed to be. He was only had maybe 2 or 3 seasons where he was, say on the par of Brady. Then he had that crazy accident where he refused to wear a motorcycle helmet, even though it was in his contract, and he flew off his motorcycle and smashed face first into that car, which actually didn't really mess up his looks that much worse because he already looked like Frankenstein, so it couldn't have happened to like a better person in that sense. Then he had a series of like messed up sex scandals immediately, which after
we got a Kronos in the chat. What's up,
Kronos? We're just talking about Bill Grapistberger. Groffelsberger.
I've been known to be called the devil.
It's good to see you.
Holy cow! Arizona gets a win. They beat San Francisco 24-23. Broncos get a win.
Kronos.
Packers get a win.
Kronos, I know that we're in relative proximity to one another. I would just ask you, my friend, Jets or Giants, Mets or Yankees? I'm just curious. I'm wondering how much we have in common. I can't wait to find out. I predict Kronos is a Yankee fan who also likes the Giants. What do you think? Yes. Wait, what kind of answer is that? Kronos, you're a Yankee and Giant fan? Are you saying you like the Yankees and Giants, Kronos? Dude, we're narrowcasting. Kronos is one of our greatest celebrities as far as the chat goes. And really, he is boss here. And Kronos, this broadcast is specifically for you, but we welcome everyone else too. I'm a nerd. I don't care. Oh, wait, hold on. I'll say it the way a nerd would say it. I'm a nerd. I don't care. Is that because you think that Aaron Rodgers has a mechanical arm? I came home and Aaron Rodgers was playing football on my TV.
Your Phillies spanked the Mets 7-6 today.
I'm getting phone call. You know what? I live near the Mets stadium, and I can see the scoreboard from my house. That is not a legitimate outcome. The Mets won that game a while ago. It was 11-0. The actual score. Yeah, I know. This is what the government wants you to believe. The actual score was 11-0 Mets. That's some high quality H2O. You know what? It is. And you know what, Kronos? So no cares in the no F's to give about football. You're here for the laughs. We'll give you a few. We're just really flattered that anybody would take their time to hang out with these two broken down old YouTubers. You know, remember back when we were something, Bill, back in the day when we had like a decent sub count, and you know, those are the days, huh? Sitting around with Deej, riding the open plain.
Those are the days.
Bird of Prey 5 was riding with us. We had a lot of good men with us.
Although we both did creep up onto the member stream for the Culture Casino. That was
yeah. I hope you don't. You know what? Honestly, when he talked about the football and you just said yeah, and there was a pause. I was just like, it's okay. You said because you had said my name's like me and Teague, yeah, and there was like a pause. I'm like, we can be irrelevant but funnier, better than the people. We can be just as irrelevant but funnier than the regular announcers.
Than the real announcers.
Yeah, I waited for a moment. I was like, okay, Bill's not going to finish this one. Let me just jump in there because I'm part of this. And I was just like, you know what? We can just
say the OCHO
irrelevant.
Name it out, but I don't know.
I think that should be our inside joke, and we should just be O.B.S.N. And you know what? We're O.B.S.N. and our inside joke. If you've seen the channel, you know it's the OCHO. We can't go if we go advertising outright as the OCHO. We open ourselves up to the possibility of copyright infringement and defamation by O.B.S.N, who are a bunch of Disney-owned idiots who already don't like you and me.
Yeah,
the O.B.S.N. is
well,
as far as we go in print.
From here either from our end, Teague.
We have nothing but love for President Harris and President Director Ray. Director Ray, so who's winning, Bill or Teague? I don't know what you mean. Bill is always winning in the battle of views and subscribers. He's a mighty force of nature in YouTube. I try my humble best to claw my way to relevance, but you know, I guess the biggest winner of all was Bird of Prey 5 until he rode into Big Whiskey. He was supposed to be back a while ago. I don't know. That sheriff in that town, he's kind of an asshole. If we hear anything weird happen in Big Whiskey, we're going to go in there and hell's coming with us. Let's see.
The Bears and the Panthers.
As far as this particular football game,
so who's winning, Phil or Teague?
We were both winners when we showed up, but I think that honestly, I have not seen much of the Steelers this year. They have not come up on our radar. We've mostly been watching the Jets and following one group of officials exclusively around the country.
The Bears beat Carolina Panthers.
Bill and I spent a great deal of money to get specific NFL games because we have targeted one team of officials. We're taking a different view to this season. We're following one team of officials from game to game. We've watched their last 3 games, and I'd have to say that the officiating team we've been watching, the last couple of games, they haven't thrown quite as many flags as they did in the first 2, did they?
No, they have not.
They seem to have calmed down a little bit and realized that they have to be allowed to play the game, and that maybe the most important team on the field may still be them. But the most important job of that most important team is that when they fix the game, it comes in an organic way after an enjoyable period of play, so that people will be frustrated but happy when they lose their money, thinking that it was worth it and enhance their enjoyment.
Oh, I heard I heard on or Facebook or either Facebook or X that Al Michaels is going to be retiring after this season.
Well, the thing is, Al Michaels died about 4 years ago, and his Force Ghost can no longer maintain full cohesion. So, really, what's going to happen is the inevitable. This was set in motion when his body passed away after a failed lightsaber duel with Darth Sidious. And unfortunately, he at that time when he merged the Force, it was pretty easy for him to become a Force Ghost. But if you've been listening for the last couple of weeks, football's elder statesman really has been sounding more elderly than statesman-like. It's kind of a shame, but I would say it's the Bidenomics of our time. You keep banking on somebody who's proven just because they're proven. There comes a point where that proven person is super duper old, and the kid behind him, like 74-year-old Chris Collinsworth, he was also sounding a bit codgerly last week, wasn't he? Also, I just want to say it makes me really sick to see Derek Jeter sitting next to A-Rod in this booth. And I'm glad. I would like to point out to people that Derek Jeter will not sit right next to A-Rod because Derek Jeter does not like A-Rod. And remember when they hacked A-Rod's phone and all it was messages between A-Rod and Tiger Woods about how come Derek Jeter wouldn't join in like group sex with them and hookers and wouldn't return their calls? Remember that scandal? They were sad that they had to settle for David Boreanaz from the show Bones. Never proven to be true or untrue and denied by Boreanaz, but never denied by Jeter that he doesn't like A-Rod very much at all. Bill did used to belong to one of those alphabet organizations that you are advancing there, but he no longer agrees with their agenda. You know what? Once forced marriages were allowed, Bill relented. But when other people started to push forward for same-sex forced marriages, that's when Bill kind of said that was enough, and he got off that train. He's still the same guy he was 10 years ago when he was ultra liberal, Bill, saying things like, the Attack of the Clones is a fluke. Remember that one? People called him a liar for that. But look, it's Revenge of the Sith is a good movie, right? And people say, Phantom Menace was bad, but
the hell you say?
The highest grossing Star Wars movie.
Fuck Star Wars.
Well, I'm talking about in the old days, before the dark times, before Disney.
There is no Star Wars. There's Disney fan fiction. That's all there is.
You know what? There's one franchise, and it pushes a terrible alphabet agenda. It's called Trek Wars. And is golf a sport? You know what, Kronos? I'm glad you asked me that. Female golf is very sporty to look at, and I love the LPGA. I watch it with the sound off and my pants off. However, I would say it's more of a game with a deeply athletic component. So, right on the edge of sport and game, but it's more athletic than, say, cards, and even a little more athletic than NASCAR, which a lot of people debate whether or not it's a sport or a game. Female volleyball is great, exactly. Except if it's like 4 Marla Hooches out there. Am I right? Like, we're getting a great game of volleyball. It's like, I didn't turn this on because I want to see competitive volleyball. I don't care about the outcome of this game. I want to see someone who looks like as good as Gabby Reese running around being 6 feet tall. You know what? When they send us their female volleyball players, they don't send us their best anymore, Bill. They're not sending Gabby Reese. 6 feet tall, Bill. That's a tall drink of water.
Yeah.
as we can see in the pre-recorded and fixed game that was previously watched by Bill and I, the Cowboys are taking the field. There is only two possible outcomes here. The team with the most points will win, or the Cowboys will be handed a victory for no reason. What do you think is going to happen, Bill?
Return to the zombie. Only $1 at Applebee's. Ugh.
Does that return to the zombie? Does that mean that
I don't know. It's some type of drink.
Does that mean P. Diddy will be given an ankle bracelet and allowed to do one more show?
Who knows? Maybe he'll pee on a girl for good measure.
It's like, hey, I'm P. Diddy. I'm back here to do a whole set of Cranberries covers, starting with Zombie.
Zombie like.
Ankle bracelet, ankle bracelet.
Zombie ball. That would be interesting, wouldn't it, Kronos?
You know what I find interesting? That gambling apps now support the sport that they have you gamble on. How long until they decide that they could bet on themselves and take an interest in influencing the outcome of one of these games? Stuff of an Orwellian novel or recent history no one knows about. We can't tell you what didn't happen.
Oh my God! The Ford electric Ford.
I find it terrible. I find it terrible that those children have better instruments than I can afford.
That's not true. I see you have some Gibson guitars lying around and Stratocaster.
I have a Fender guitar. I have a USA Gibson, yes, and I have
you have a wonderful
Yamaha. No, I have what's called the SG. It's the guitar that Angus Young plays. Is also favored by Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath. Even though Keith Richards is my favorite guitar player, unfortunately, my hollow body ES335 was destroyed in a subway accident. Who is this weird lady on TV we're seeing, Bill?
Oh, it's a political commercial.
Why do you guys have politics?
Why are there politics anywhere? I don't
know. Soon there'll be an election, and then this will be an international broadcast, and me and Bill won't have to move anywhere. I'm going to be a resident of the Canadian province of New York. And Bill will be part of the Rocky Mountain Republic, a.k.a. the man in the high castle. And I guess you guys will be part of the Republic of Texas and then, attack Mexico? Is that the plan?
No, we're going to attack all New Yorkers.
That will probably go very poorly for you, and we'll start to call
it...
We'll start to call it Karen Zona.
We're the West, buddy. We have more guns than you do, and we're better.
We have
guns.
You know what? We have enough money to buy enough guns to outgun you by tomorrow afternoon, very quickly.
No
the NYPD
way.
Is a fort. We have the 10th Mountain Division.
Southwest would win in our landslide.
New York State has the ground attack wing of the Air National Guard. And the 10th Mountain Division, the most elite part of Delta Force.
Has the machete. Hey, machetes kills.
I consider Kronos to be a friend at this point, and I think that if anyone was going to ever if I was ever going to let anyone shave me or give me a haircut with a machete, it would be my pal Kronos.
No.
You're watching O.B.S.N. The Outlaw Bill Sports Network. I'm Admiral Teague. With me, our owner and primary play-by-play man, as well as colorful analysis, the istophobe, Outlaw Bill. Outlaw Bill, you've been istophobing all day. How's it feel to finally get here for some football?
Nice. There was some action going on kind of earlier.
It was enjoyable to help advance the patriarchy today.
I hear the new Joker movie is guaranteed dud.
Yes, I heard that
Dead
anyone
on
not
arrival.
watching this football game at the Joker movie will come home as disappointed by the outcome of that Joker movie, which was also fixed about a year ago.
Their first mistake was making another Joker movie, and then their second mistake was casting Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn.
It wasn't a mistake for what they intended to do. His intended movie showed up. And of all people, Culture Casino said she wasn't a problem and her performance was good. He took issue with the way the movie was put together. Honestly,
I don't believe Culture on that one.
But you know what? I got to be honest with you. I think that he was probably right simply because of this. That Batman, the animated series original character, has always been problematic when in any other form of medium. And the idea that you would have a musical was the first problem. So, like, whether or not he turns out to be correct, logic is on the side of the CC prediction, because if you're going to make a musical, Lady Gaga can kind of act, and she can definitely sing. And it comes down to history. What's a better album? The Prince album of songs inspired by Batman, or the Lady Gaga album of songs inspired by the Joker? I don't want to find out.
Hey, there's a New York football team that won today. The Giants. They beat the Seahawks 29-20. And hey, we got the Padawannabe in the house, our play-by-play guy.
Hello.
Welcome,
What are you guys using today?
Aside from the power of our istophobism and the patriarchy to power up our internet?
Yeah, well, there is a Cosme screening viewing area.
Oh,
Unlawful William will paste the link in the chat. It's so great to have
No. There hasn't even been a kickoff yet.
Okay. No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't think that Outlaw Bill
So
and
we
I
still
could
haven't
handle
done
this on
anything.
our own,
Yeah,
you were right. Here comes the truly talented member of our broadcasting team. The Padawannabe absolutely does a fantastic job and has enhanced my enjoyment of all of these games as we followed both the NFL and one officiating team on our three-pronged mission. They're the same officials tonight. We paid extra money to only get that game. And, of course, the conspiracy against the Jets. That one official kind of looks more like Uncle Philip from the Fresh Prince than anything else, but okay.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, it's kind of surprising now. I honestly never thought I would recognize umpires or referees or anybody like that. I remember being young, watching sports and watching the men around me. It's like, how do they know so much? And it's like, oh, you just live long enough. Eventually, the players you grew up with become coaches and owners and
officials.
Yeah.
And let's face it, this is not the NBA. This is the NFL. These guys make like six figures. They can't have a job that you would want to lose. They have to make almost as much as like a low-level coach, because you have to be beyond reproach and unbribable. That said, have football games been fixed? It has been alleged.
Oh, and I could only imagine an intimidation factor on the field. I mean, you're going to have real people trying to talk to you, but then you have these giants like screaming at you. 6'10", 375 pounds.
I will say this: when I made a joke earlier today on someone else's member stream, they said, sorry about the Jets loss, and I said, actually, I'm getting calls from inside the stadium that said the Jets actually won.
Yeah,
and everyone, no one dismissed it out of hand. They're like, seriously? And I'm like, no, I'm kidding. And they're like, oh, you had me for a minute. Like, people, there's total believability that the NFL would do that.
And I won't be able to stay the whole time today, but I'll hang in as long as I can.
Groovy.
It's been so long since I've even been able to watch football because it's on so many different things now. And it's even last year, I would kind of forget. It's like, oh, you have to set an alarm so that you remember the game, the one game you actually can watch. You watch it, and it'll be some turd toilet bowl game. It's like, God, never a team you want to see. I can't believe how easy we really had it with network TV when it came to sports.
I know,
the day.
Right?
It's like,
I know.
I mean, I understand how the wife kind of got an attitude back in the day. They're like, oh, it's the weekend. I won't be able to get my husband to do anything. Sports are on.
Now it's like it's Thursday through
fun.
Sunday. Your husband's going to be hungover every morning till Wednesday, and then it starts again the next day.
And then eventually, don't they have like Friday and Saturday games halfway through the season now?
Sometimes, yeah.
God, it's so weird. It's so weird.
Well, now that we've packed in so many games and so many bye, and we should be clear by that we mean bye weeks. By packing in so many games, and when I said packing in the buys, I had to make sure we were talking about a bye week in football expressly. Well, you know how a euphemism tube can be.
They would have like it would be like Cancer Awareness Month, be like Multisexual Awareness Month, but the way the players get to represent is they get to split their uniforms down the middle like Two-Face style and have their alternate jerseys. Like one's one jersey and one's the other colors.
How about this? Like somebody be totally honest and like on one side it'd be the team colors and the other side it'd be like a half of $100 bill and say like Lucchese crime family.
That's so funny. I forget when they did that. You guys might be able to remember. Was it the A's and Giants series? Because they put those two hats together for something. It was like two completely different teams. I forget what that was for. I remember them doing that at one point. I just can't remember. I think it might have been the Giants and the A's back then because the Battle of the Bay.
Someone has been. We have a question from the audience. Only one of our analysts will be able to answer this. What kind of can did we hear open? Was it a beer?
Oh, it was a beer.
It was
a
beer. All right. This is a football game.
I tried to
give some context there.
I try to do fountain drinks as much as I can for sodas.
Are you one of those who believes that beer in a can tastes significantly colder than beer in a bottle?
I think it can be, but I think it, to me, the can gets warmer faster.
I agree. And the beer, and then you have to like chug that beer. I think a lot of America spends a lot of their time chugging beer really fast so they can drink another beer before their beer gets warm. But
there is that,
like kind of like, you know.
And I have seen there's like the formula now, like they know the temperature you can put it so. You bring your beer out of the refrigerator in the bottle and you like open it and tap it and it gets all icy. And it's like, that's what I want. I need a refrigerator at that temperature.
I gotta be honest. Like the European beers, you can drink the full-size Imperial pint without having to super chug because they were originally intended to be served warm. And so they only chilled them for the fact is it's only chilled for American preferences, right? So as the beer warms up, although it's like I still prefer it cold as an American, I get a little more time. Not warm beer, but like it doesn't have to be ice cold. Here's my thing: if you're drinking a certain kind of beer, that you have some time to drink it. But if you're drinking a Bud Light, a Coors Light, a Michelob Ultra Light, something like that. You have about as much time as you have for a order of McDonald's fries to go bad before that beer is too warm to consume. The difference between frozen and too warm to drink is like 4 or 5 minutes out of the fridge. Am I wrong? This stuff tastes like shit when it gets warm.
No, and always the trick, have frosted glasses. You know, a cold glass and a cold beer will last you a little longer. You usually can get through them. And I understand why, like, when I'm at home, I can handle drinking out of a smaller glass. You know, when you're at the bar, you want as much as you can get for what you're paying for. You know,
beer bugs.
exactly. So I mean, at home, I have no problem like even a 12-ounce can, like breaking that up, you know, into an 8-ounce glass or something. So you can regulate yourself a little bit, depending on how often you want to get up, or if you're cool and you got one of those fridges like in your recliner, then you're set.
I guess I've known Bill like a year or so now. Of you see me drunk like maybe twice. It's on the weekend late. It's never when it's all. I got drunk on my own stream like once. I used to drink when I'd go on as a guest. That turned out to be. It's like just because I'm not modding the stream, I could only have like say 2 drinks before it affects my voice, and 3 before I go psychopath anyway. You know what? When I listen to myself later and I sound drunk, I'm like, I know that I was pretty much with it there, but it's already in my voice and I couldn't hear that. So maybe I can't. Yeah. So maybe I wasn't as with it as I thought.
That I don't know. I always put like a limit on myself. And again, when you're at home, it's a lot easier. When I'm out and I'm going out and it's like, hey, I want alcohol, I want to buy it. When I'm home, it's easier to regulate, you know.
For me, it's financial. I don't want to get beat up just because at this age I've had as much time drinking as most people have. And like, I put in like a full career as a legal drinker. You know what I mean? I can retire with full drinking pension. And I managed to get through this without becoming an alcoholic, without building up a bunch of DWIs, without like assaulting anybody. And like the long and short of it seems to be that Admiral Teague, although he likes to drink, he's just not really an alcoholic. So especially since monetization
he stepped on the line.
COVID. Since monetization and after COVID, I haven't done it as much.
I flipped on the highlights there. I was like, oh, we're missing it? No, we're not missing it. Got excited there for a second.
I watched this at 4:00 in the morning with Bill.
Who's the dark uniforms?
That's
you know what? It's Houston.
Oh, that's a new one. Okay.
Bill and I stayed up till 7 a.m. Eastern time watching the pregame so that we would be fully prepared to talk tonight about football.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I can turn you guys on to a pretty good sports podcast.
Hey, Lady Miss.
Hey, Lady Miss. It's nice to see you. No, we found the best one, Padawannabe, because it's so bad. You've got to check this out.
Oh, it's that kind of podcast.
It's the CW with Bill Belichick.
Oh no!
And 2 wildly dressed former players who are wearing like purple and canary yellow suits, and Bill Belichick is like trying to be nice.
Hilarious.
And he's like,
so funny.
He's smiling, and it's just like he can barely pull off cracking a smile. So, but you know it's genuine. He's like, it's like he does have enthusiasm for football, but they don't have much money, so the players act extra stupid and idiotic. And like he's genuinely amused by how dumb they make these people act, and how he was able to tell them, "Fuck you." I'm just going to sit
Allen. There. That's a concussion.
Yeah.
Yikes,
see, Josh Allen, 2 first names, a problem that's been a through line in this show.
That's funny. Oh, well, since you brought up Belichick, it reminded me. Did either of you watch the Tom Brady roast?
No, did he go?
No, I think I want to see it though.
It's great. No, they did. He was there. He comes in.
Did he wear a hoodie with the sleeves cut off and a tuxedo?
I think he comes in halfway through. No, I think he has a suit. Right? I think he has a suit, but somebody does make a joke, something like, "I can't believe the suit doesn't have the sleeves cut off."
Sleeves cut off.
Something.
Like halfway,
because even the owner is there. Because I think Belichick shows up halfway through. The owner's there the whole time. And there's one point, I think it's Tony Hinchcliffe. One of the comedians makes a crack about the ring or whatever that the owner was supposedly involved with. And Tom Brady's like, "Hey, you don't talk about that shit anymore." Like and it was like, "Oh, okay. There was one time he did kind of put his foot down, but it's funny. All the comedians do good.
I was just gonna say what Tom Brady put his foot down over. If that turns out to be like a criminal thing, like it's not going to age well, and also right now it's not funny already. So Tom Brady didn't say stop making fun of me. He was like, no,
exactly. And I thought
You
that
could-
was cool. It's like, hey, you can say whatever you want about me. And he
Don't
took
say my
and he took
boss
all
and
of it.
benefactor went to Epstein Island.
He did take most of it, but there's a lot of good comedians there. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
Kevin Hart hosted it, and every once in a while he's just "F you, Tom Brady." It was so funny because he's been so screwed by him over the years with his teams, just random. It's worth watching though. I think
Ryan Leaf should have been the person to host it, right? But
who did host it? Oh, it was Kevin Hart, but they co-hosted
it's
it.
that Roastmaster guy, right?
Yeah.
But
he was there. God, what's that guy's name? That Jewish guy that has done him forever. He is there also, but Kevin Hart is like the main guy. But like all the comedians get like 10 minutes, and they have other players there.
Silverman is that Jason Schwartzman?
Yeah, and then like Gronk's there, and some old players that Drew played with on the Patriots, like McCaffrey's there and some other guys. So it's pretty funny.
The funny thing about Jason Schwartzman is that his real last name is O'Reilly, but he lost a bet. So that's why his name is Jason Schwartzman.
Oh, that's funny.
No, I'm only kidding. I have no idea. I have no freaking idea.
Funny,
all I know is that he briefly held the record for lowest grossing major release movie with Sex Tape.
Guy?
Sex Tape, the hardest failure of any movie in American history.
Tim, is it?
Is he the guy? There's two guys who do most of the roasting. One of them's the guy who did Sex Tape and Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Jeff Ross. That's what I was trying to think of. Jeff
I was
Ross.
gonna say, and the other one is the guy, the hillbilly-looking guy with the mullet. He has like a real rural look, and that's kind of his shtick. He's not exactly like the guy who's like get her done, but he's like one of those like kind of like
the
overtly
older guy. I think I know who you're talking about too.
He wears Elvis jumpsuits and makes a lot of like
that's not who I thought it was. That's not who I thought it was.
Well, he's kind of got like a longer mullet and like lighter hair. If it's still anything but gray, I haven't seen the guy in a long time.
Hey, don't talk badly about him.
That's funny.
I make mullets look good. Okay.
But yeah, I suggest.
Yes.
Here's
the highlights of the Jets-Vikings game where the Jets' old quarterback beat the Vikings' old rival quarterback, and just. This is the problem right here. This pick six, right? The announcers called it an interception and score against the Jets, which is accurate. But going by the way Disney markets the Acolyte, what I'm going to say is those announcers really brought people down. Couldn't they have just celebrated the touchdown, right? Did they have to call it a pick six against? The fact is he threw a touchdown and they ruined it by saying it was a pick six against.
That's funny. He did throw a touchdown. That's true.
We need some women in that. We need to put some women in that play-by-play booth.
Enough fans in London. I mean.
Oh, because it's just about getting drunk and they give the tickets away for next to nothing. These are just like the homeless people from London.
They should just put. They should just have a couple teams in Europe. I don't see why
the Acolyte after the game. Wouldn't. That's why everyone went.
They should actually. They should probably put enough teams in Europe that it can be a division. So you'd have to have like 5 teams. Because then at least they wouldn't have to fly overseas all the time, you know.
NFL Europe failed, and right now, for the next 2 or 3 more years, the New York Jets have exclusive rights to be the London team should they want. So they're trying that out. Well, I mean, the good news is if you want the Jets to stay in New York, and I don't, please go to London and become like the London Hessians and get the fuck out. But, because then I can root for someone else. As a Jet fan, like, I have a longing to be a Ravens fan.
What would a London team be? Would they let them? Would they let, like, them have European names, or would they make them keep our name?
They would be called, like, the London Monarchs.
I wonder. That'd be funny. That's interesting. We might get some interesting names.
The London Whiteskins?
Or like
the degenerate. How about this? The lifetime unemployment capital of the world.
That's bad.
They get
can't
lifetime
remember.
unemployment benefits. You never have to actually work. You can graduate from high school and just start collecting public assistance.
That'd be nice.
That's why so many bands
would
come
like
from
that.
Europe. What?
I want to
Why
do
do you
that.
think so many bands come from England? Yeah, like if the four of us
Sign
just
me
moved
up.
in together and practiced music all day instead of doing YouTube and having real lives, we would be like the second best like grunge band in all of America.
Oh, so it could be like the London Jacks because of their flag. Because of
London
their flag.
Lumberjacks.
Because isn't the flag is God, I can't remember now, but it's
I'm
something
getting a
Jack.
text from Leslie Headland,
I can't
and she's
remember what
saying
it
they
is now,
should be
darn it.
called the
No,
London
no,
Queef Eaters.
No. What?
I said I just got a text from Leslie Headland who suggests the name London Queef Eaters.
Why would Headland be messaging you? I mean, we
both
don't
dig chicks.
so bad.
Well, because here's the thing: like she helps me meet women, and then after I damage them, they become lesbians
Union
and date
Jack.
her.
Yeah, Union Jack. That's what the flag's called,
Yeah.
Union Jack. So they could call them
Oh,
the
yeah.
London Jacks.
Or the London John Bulls, or the London Bulldogs.
You mean the London Jagoffs? No.
How about we call them the London Monty Python semi-relevant humors? Right? Because only like 1/3 of Monty Python seems to make any sense whatsoever.
That's so funny. NASCAR. Woo. Go fast, turn left.
We should probably do a NASCAR event. I don't know
Oh, for
how
God's sake,
watch
it's
it,
so
but-
boring. What we do, it's like, yeah, they're still turning to the left. And it's like, great news, there's been a wreck. We hope it's fatal. We saw
No,
a guy
we would
jumping
need to
around.
do what they made 2 new street tracks for them. I think they did
I want to see Charlie
track
races to the
an
death. I'll look out my
in-city
window.
I think they did an in-city track like Formula 1 did an in-city track in Vegas this year. So I think NASCAR did something like that.
I think you might be right. They might have pulled a Monaco-like thing where they went through part of a town.
But I do
or
know they
state.
did add another, so there's at least 3 street tracks on it now.
I think we should have a road warrior-like competition in Manhattan where people are allowed to have a couple of weapons and maybe something on their car like a flamethrower, and
Death
I think it would be
race.
absolutely great. Why not? And if you know any vehicle of your choice, you want to take a motorcycle, you want to take a horse, go for it. See what happens. Close the island for one day. The people get to watch. You can keep people up on the first floor out of the way of the blood.
Nitro
splatter, and
Circus
let 'em go.
Ultimate Showdown.
I also think that we should get rid of the justice system and simply have continuous running mans going on.
That Escape from LA. Oh, the Energizer
movie
Bunny's
is-
back. I haven't seen that guy in a
movie
while.
was scoffed at when it was released, but now that
It's
it's like
pretty
so
decent.
far after the fact, yeah,
The
it's
basketball's ridiculous, but I mean,
it's over the top. It's over the top, but then you start to realize what the source movie was, and you're like, yeah, this is just as dumb. And then like you also, because it has Star Trek people in it, you always have the excuse to say this is just something they imagined on the holodeck. It's Ensign Rowe on the holodeck.
But you got to give it credit, man. I mean, isn't he the inspiration for Solid Snake? I think
Listen,
Snake
it's a great
Plissken is
perform-
the inspiration for Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid.
You're probably right, but I would say this: we didn't need another Snake Plissken movie, but since we
we didn't.
since we had, I'm being honest, Escape from New York, like it came out of nowhere. People were like the fuck.
15
And the
years
thing-
later.
yeah. The fact that we got it, maybe more. The fact that we got it, it was pretty okay. It wasn't like we didn't groan through most of it. There was a couple of groans in that movie. It's not the greatest, but the first one's a lot better. But now that I didn't mind it that much at the time because I didn't have to pay to see it. And when I see it now, like I leave it on and I laugh. I find it funny.
It's watchable.
No one is ever going to beat the Duke of York, played by Chef. The Duke of New York, played by Chef.
So what is this actually being broadcast on?
Peacock. NBC.
Oh, okay.
All the Sunday night games are NBC.
Oh, is it?
And NBC, your local NBC station? Or,
Oh, that's what it was. Thursday night was Prime.
Right.
That's why I was getting
The
confused.
game's going to start in about 10 minutes, and that means that almost 40 minutes ago, Carrie Underwood began singing the Sunday Night Football song. It's about an hour long. She only just finished last week's song in time to have a quick glass of water and start this week's.
Oh, I'm going to have to get ready to watch another episode of Agatha. Oh, my goodness.
Why is Catherine Hahn, like, what was the deal? Was she once pretty and she's just got older? Was she once relevant and she's no longer funny? Some small combination of a little bit of both? I don't get it.
I think she was a lower tier comedy actress, and she has a niche, you know, like she's a bridesmaid type, that kind of group. I just think there was other people that said yes. I just, you know, I don't think she was as many top 3 choices for stuff. And I think there was a lot of women willing to do comedy when she was available, you know, because there was a lot of, like, Katherine Heigl and a lot of those women that did comedies. I was like, oh, it kind of surprised me, you know, that these women were doing comedies. But to be honest, seeing like Jessica Alba in a comedy kind of surprised me, you know.
The thing I remember about Katherine Heigl was that the comedy was supposed to bring her back from having a reputation of being difficult, and that the reputation for being difficult was replaced by an even worse one. that she was mean.
Yeah.
And then they tried to save her by putting her on a bunch of things and showing her in a favorable light and making fun of how mean she was, but it was baked in. I don't know how true it is, but she got a reputation first for being difficult, but that might have been because she just didn't want to do Grey's Anatomy anymore. So people were like, huh, maybe. But then she's only working with like people like Will Ferrell and Seth Rogen, and then the reputation is that she's mean. But now we all have different opinions of Seth Rogen and Will Ferrell than we did when they said that. So it's like, was the fact that she was mean that when they started talking crazy, she's like, I just want to leave the room and not say any more crazy stuff about politics. I'll just go like get like a Snickers. And they're like,
and it kind of is like those guys were able to deal with her. They're like, I don't see it. And we're like, how can guys like that deal with her? And now we see how guys like that, you know, they weren't what we exactly thought they were 100%. Like you just said, you know, we had a slightly different impression of them.
Think of the people she's competing with. Does anyone think that someone like Alyssa Milano, just for instance, isn't capable of putting out a story that you're super
and I mean,
fucking mean? So that she
who was it? Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson was also out at the same time. You know,
did you see what she did as far as plastic surgery? Did you see the plastic surgery she got? No. She didn't touch her face at all. She got enormous fun bags. I had to go and engage myself after I saw her for about a minute and a half. First, I almost had heart failure. Then after I called my doctor and he talked me through the fact that I didn't need heart medication, I had to punch myself in the crotch till the swelling went down immediately.
I like it. I do. I like it. Oh. Oh my goodness.
You're getting older when she's so much hotter at 40 than she was at 20. And you're like, man, those fun bags. Oh my God.
And I'll admit, that you know, we all have, you kind of notice more as you get older. You're like, oh, some people have like a 10-year window. Like some women are amazingly great looking at 50, and it's like, I don't remember. Like I think Jennifer Aniston looked better a little older, like at 40 and over 40, you know. And then there's some girls that are just fantastic looking in their 20s, you know, and then some of them get lucky, you know, like Ava Mendes, Jessica Alba. There's a lot of women right now that have been working for a long time. Sofia Vergara, you know, It's like,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
putting a few decades under their belts, man.
I'll just point out, as far as like aging, women who are older who are considered good looking, and you can take your choice whether people are right or not because everyone has different tastes. But Natalie Portman, Mariah Carey, what do you call it, and Jennifer Aniston all lived within 17 to 18 miles of one another from Long Island.
I can't believe
Lindsay
Mariah
Lohan.
Carey married a young fellow like Nick Cannon.
Hey,
I can believe it.
See what fame does to you, though.
In a way, and like he was like out of there inside of like 26 months. It was like she drove him insane too. She really is the person who demanded $300,000 in services to do a charity event.
I mean, she's got to be like the highest paid
female
singer in existence.
No, but like her amenities to do a charity event were like $10,000 to $30,000.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine. And I've heard like her writers.
I'll do the event for just what I need in my dressing room. I need like
I can't remember if it was Mariah Carey or not, but like somebody like her, there was somebody that was like, oh, I have to have white everything. You have to put in white linens, you have to put in white towels, white shower curtain, white drapes, white everything. But I don't know if that was necessarily Mariah Carey, but I have heard that Mariah Carey has some pretty difficult things on her writers.
Here you have Tony Dungy.
Mariah Carey is so weird and so cringe that when she hooked up with Derek Jeter in her prime in like the middle of the 90s when she really looked good, she came to a Yankee game and made it clear that she was dating Derek Jeter, and he never looked over at her. And then after the game said, nah, she's not my girlfriend at all, and I don't know what anyone's talking about. And the Yankee announcers had to like eat all their words and stuff like that, because they're like, look at these two young, wonderful celebrities who are going out. They're getting ready to like what they're doing now with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce from that 70s show. Yeah, right. Unreal.
And did Dak just sign some big deal?
Who?
Let's see. Dak Prescott.
I don't know.
Dak. I think he just signed. Woohoo! Jesus! 4-year, $240 million contract.
Wow.
Includes $80 million signing bonus. $231 million guaranteed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was correct. I've always been
correct. Oh my God.
Later, Kronos.
I was right. I've been right for a long time. Dak Prescott, fans around the league celebrate the fact that the Dallas Cowboys will be irrelevant for another.
So his average annual salary is $60 million because his signing bonus and his guarantee is so. Oh my God, that is insane, dude. This guy hasn't even done anything for him.
Shitting out money.
Jesus. Oh man.
Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys hates wiping his ass so much that he eats $100 bills so that the self cleans on the way out.
God, how do they afford anything else? Jesus, that's so much for 4 years. They
pay the luxury tax. They don't care.
Yeah, they need to give him something then, because he's not.
How about football lessons?
To me, he's not. But yeah, I was gonna say he's not really like a field commander in that way. You know,
he's not very agile. His arm is not that reliable. While he has power, he ends up throwing it like through people a lot or short. He's not accurate. His play calling is decent, but not great. He is the high end of mediocre. He's a slightly more athletic, less intelligent version of Kirk Cousins as far as the numbers, with roughly equivalent, I believe. And the playoff lack of success, roughly equivalent.
God, that is crazy. I mean, I heard it was big, but whoa. Because I heard something about a video, like Jerry Jones got off the airplane and he like fist bumps Dak like before a press conference or something. I was like, what? And I was like, okay, there's got to be some that he really likes him or something. I don't know.
Dak Prescott is such a weird guy because he has a last name that's debatably a first name and a first name that's a sci-fi name. So I don't know what to make of Dax Prescott.
Wow, Doc. Way to go, Doc. Wow. Nice. Man.
All right, we're going to have some bad weather. I'm hoping that it's really nasty out there for these other out-of-town fans of teams I don't like. Every time I go to a football game, it rains. Why should it be nice for these people? It's an early season bad weather game.
Dak now has FU money.
Damn.
No
Yes, he
reason to
does.
play that hard. And no reason to play that hard.
That much guaranteed. $240 million contract and 231 guaranteed. Wow. Like, even if he gets hurt.
Think about this. He can't be pulled. You can't pull him, and you really can't work him out that much in the preseason either. So giving this guy practice is irresponsible. You have to kind of throw him in after only practice squad stuff. He can't play the game at even half speed because playing him past preseason. Can you play him in postseason games 2 and 3? You can't.
Do they even make it that
Being
far?
honest, there's 3 games now instead of 4. One of them is now a regular season game. I think it's the same schedule.
If they make it, still. I mean, God, what is
So
the
you're going to
record
make
right
it to
now?
game 17. Unfortunately, you're going to have to play all of them.
And what's their record right now?
And how many home games do the Jets have this year in New York? Did we get rid of half of them by this London thing?
Oh, Cowboys are 2-2. Yeesh. Steelers are 3-1, so they're looking good. Wow. Now, is Roethlisberger's not still in Pittsburgh? Okay. I was going to say, I don't think that guy's there anymore. Who do they have? I'm not familiar. No, I don't think I'm familiar with the. Let's see. Steelers.
Chris Collinsworth, here he is looking codgerly as could be. He looks great for 100, but like.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, go ahead.
He's looking like Gary Oldman, like somewhere in the middle of his Dracula movie, you know?
Uh-huh. I forgot that's where Russell Wilson ended up.
Yeah.
They have Justin Fields, but that Russell Wilson ended up in Pittsburgh. I forgot about that. He was demanding some ridiculous money, too, during his controversy.
He the most paid fucking quarterback in Denver, still paying his fucking ass.
Oh, you gotta love.
Yeah.
But if
Denver
you are the local,
paid him. That was really a raw deal. I mean, these players are ridiculous. Of course, they're not that great, and they get the freaking highest salary
after a very questionable, ethically questionable controversy. You know, it's like, oh, we might not even want to be associated with this gentleman type of controversy.
You gotta love Russell Wilson, though. They said he was good enough to play baseball, but he stuck with football. To me, if you're good enough to play baseball, you would play only baseball because you would have a much longer career and make a lot more money.
Yeah, that's true.
Ask Bo Jackson about that.
Baseball. Well, didn't I know Deion Sanders
was a Yankee. I saw him play.
Well, no, he played the full NFL season and didn't play the full Major League Baseball season. Is that how that worked?
What happened was he only played baseball in the city where he played football. He didn't go on baseball road trips if there was a home game. If there was a home, if there was a home game, right?
But like only when it worked out for the one schedule.
He hit a home run and scored a touchdown in the same weekend twice. He would just fly to the football game.
Well, there's no question Deion Sanders has to be one of the fastest guys that has ever played either sport. I
saw him get his ass kicked at home plate by I forget who it was, the White Sox catcher. It was a legend too. Deion Sanders was a Yankee. Deion Sanders was a New York Yankee.
I don't remember him being a Yankee.
Listen to this. I was at a game, 1993, I think it was. He steps into the batter's box
That's
and
wild.
draws a dollar sign in the batter's box.
Oh,
Think about
dang.
how disrespectful that is. So it was Carlton Fisk. That's how long ago it was. Stood up and yelled at him.
Dang.
Does not disrespect the game of baseball. And Deion Sanders said to him, and it's, both guys agree that the comment was, I don't think you know about this, but we don't work for you no more. And he goes, listen, just shut the fuck up and don't draw a dollar sign in the fucking batter's
No
box.
kidding. That's
The
crazy.
next time he came to bat, the Deion Sanders drew the dollar sign in the fucking batter's box, and while he was doing it, Carlton Fisk stood up and punched him right in the face. The umpire turned around and walked away. And the Yankees, no one came off the bench. His coach didn't argue. Everyone kind of acted like it didn't happen until Deion went after Johnny Bench, at which point it was broken up. Deion was thrown out of the game. Johnny Bench was thrown out of the game. And after the game, I made sure to catch this when I went home on the replay to see what Buck Showalter said. And they were like, what happened with your new prospect who was thrown out of the game, in that fist fight? And he's like, you know what? I don't know what the hell went on there, but he's not going to bat again until he learns not to draw dollar signs in the batter's box. That was only brought to my attention now. I'm telling you, I did not know. Like, are you saying they were right to hit him? He's like, next question. He never went to bat as a Yankee again. He was a Brave like 2 days later.
That's okay. That's what I remember. And I think that's why I didn't realize he was on the Yankees. 93, I was still in high school. The only baseball team I was following was San Francisco. But in the night, like the late 80s, 90s, I only knew. Well, I knew the A's because they were close, but I really was following San Francisco Giants at the time. Because Yankees, I was a big fan of after I graduated and then went to college. So like so
you like
95 to 2000.
I watched all those games.
I was a big fan. I just liked
one of those games.
I liked the way a lot of the players carried themselves.
I was at Game 6 at home in 1996 World Series when Wade Boggs rode that horse around the inside of the stadium. I was at Aaron Boone's home run as well. One of the coolest things in New York is a Yankee game.
I was watching a lot of Giants because I remember watching the game when was it Kevin Williams caught that ball barehanded in the outfield? I forget who was. Gosh darn it. Not Kevin Williams. Left fielder for the Giants. He was good.
Kevin Mitchell.
That's it. Kevin Mitchell. I remember actually watching that game, and I was like, holy crap. It was just some of those things back in the day. Who was the
batter? Darryl Strawberry, right?
I'm not sure who Strawberry. It was. But I did see a lot of those moments that like we see on the best highlights. Like I was watching that game when Barry Sanders turned that cowboy around 4 times and left that dude standing there. I was losing it that game. I remember that game so well.
I'll tell you this. Last night, bartenders made a ton of money as they did this afternoon, but last night was the greatest night in the history of Queens since Robin Ventura's Grand Slam home run against the Braves in 1999. This town was rocking when they came back to beat the Phillies. That was the biggest Met win in 24 years. And if they would have won today, it would have been the biggest Met win in 38 years.
Wow.
If they were winning today and they blew that game late at home, that's fucked up that they choked. They haven't had a home game in 2 weeks. They finally get one and they do that. They need to win tomorrow and win big. I want to see the New York Mets redeem themselves just because even though I like the Yankees, you know what? I live in Queens, and I'd like to see my borough have a championship again. Why should we be known for bad baseball? I live in Queens. Why do I have to wear a Brooklyn Dodger hat not to get beat up in Queens? I want to wear my hat.
Where's Derrick Henry now?
When I wear my Yankee hat, I have to
that
engage in
guy.
single combat on every other block with people wearing Met hats.
I like that running back.
Just a quick baseball tip. If you're a baseball fan in New York City, you might be tempted to buy a switchblade, but I prefer the butterfly knife. When you take it out, that display, sometimes that's enough to disarm the whole situation, and that's why I carry it for de-escalation. When I wear the Yankee hat, I have to be prepared for that on every other block. When I wear the Jet hat, people just laugh at me. I'm going to wear it tomorrow, even though they lost, to show I still really love the Jets. And yes, that's the hardest day of all to wear the hat. It's the most important day to wear it. Is it a badge of shame? Yeah, most Mondays it is.
Gosh darn it.
The best Sundays are the ones where the Jets have already lost on Thursday, or the Sundays where the Jets start playing on Monday and they can't ruin the weekend at all. Because Monday always kind of sucks.
Trying to figure out who all these people are.
You know what? They're on helium and a little bit of so everyone in this place is like a little bit oxygen deprived, and this is something that I've been saying for years. I'm curious what everybody else thinks on the panel. I believe that this can only go as fast as the intellectual level of the slowest commercial. So they're like, the Coors Light commercials are made for drunk, dumb people. You have to be as understandable to drunk and dumb people as everyone else. And they're just like, so what are you saying? They're like one syllable words, lots of laughing and cackling. Go non-dialogue as much as you can. Like if someone says like you think you're gonna win, go rather than saying something like yes. Like don't use few words. Body language, grunting, onomatopoeia. That's what we want out there. So here we go. We're going to see the Josh Allen hit again.
Ouch. 9 of 31.
That's not... Like he's like 3 completions away from acceptable, but it's bad. But whoa. At least we got rid of military month where they would take our tax money and give it to NFL billionaires who pay no taxes. I'm not saying I don't like the military. I'm saying when the NFL pretends it like it's something like the military, or pretends that that football is somehow like as worthy or noble as serving your country, it makes me fucking sick. And I don't think that we should have to pay our tax money to some Bond villain who doesn't pay taxes.
Oh, is this guy going to run it back? Nope, just kidding.
This has been the longest pregame I've ever. The game should have kicked off by now.
I know. I was just thinking. I was like, gosh, I'm not even going to be able to do any of this.
I'm going to check on the other channel, make sure that we have the right network.
Oh, it's the weather. That's why they keep showing the weather, huh?
I don't know.
I'm getting calls from the Bilderberg network. They're telling me that the game started a while ago.
No, stop.
They're saying also that the Jets game was actually a Jet win that was played on Friday at Bilderberg Group Stadium.
It's kind of upsetting. You know, they have a game that start at 4, and then here it is almost 5:30, and it hasn't kicked off yet. It should have kicked off by now.
They're just being pussies because there's cloud to ground lightning, and they think that people in the stands care if they die or not.
I don't fucking care. Go up there. Jesus.
As far as I'm concerned, that would add another element of absolute genius to this game. If we could see like a stroke of lightning just like rock through the stadium. I mean, I'm not saying I want people to die, but it's something cinematic should happen while we're watching. I mean, Sum of All Fears is a movie, right?
The ball comes down with a big hole in it, just flutters down. Kickoff, crack.
It's like The Natural. He kicks the ball apart.
Yeah.
Part of it lands.
Yeah.
Kicks
like, what's this? What am I supposed to do with this? Oh man, That'd be horrible.
You know what? One day, I think that would be like the movie group is like get the three of us and on my channel when spring rolls around, and we'll watch The Natural because that's a good baseball movie. And then like the next week we'll watch like one of the major leagues, which is terrible but funny and watchable.
Major League's
baseball
great.
movie.
Major League's great.
It's funny and watchable.
You got to get Bob Uecker, Mr. Baseball, in there.
That's right.
Just a bit outside.
And Randy Quaid.
Oh gosh, yes. Randy Quaid has entered the building.
As a crazy person.
Randy Quaid wants a latte.
Randy Quaid's talent was that he could play two kinds of characters. He could act like an insane person and mostly be normal. But then we found out that what he really was he could act like a normal person, but was mostly insane. By the way, those Texans uniforms, the black ones with the red numbers, do they look like a sci-fi sports league from some?
It looks so strange to me.
Yeah,
it
so
does.
Unworldly. The Buffalo coach, it's just like, yes, I am an idiot who lost. Sean McDermott, you're in England. Try not to get arrested. I know they don't like Irish people. But perhaps stop in Dublin on the way home. Taiwan on. It's weird. It looks like Peyton Manning's brother, but it's not. It's some ginger weird guy who looks like the dude from. He looks like Brody from what was that fucking CIA show with Claire Danes? He looks like that guy. He looks like James Badgedale.
I'm probably. Isn't he an old quarterback?
On the left?
Isn't all the way on the all the way on the left? I'm not sure. All the way on the right. I'm not sure. Is it Alex Smith?
Right now, I think used to play. I just don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is either.
The NFL announcers, guys, they are spread super thin. Think about this. If you're a Jets announcer, you had to be up at 4 a.m. for the pregame to watch the game and report on the game. And then tonight at 11:30, you finish reporting on the game so that you can be up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning to be on the morning radio shows to report on the Jet game. And you work until about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So 4 a.m. yesterday till 7 a.m. tomorrow. Or 4 a.m. today till 7 p.m. tomorrow, maybe 9 p.m. tomorrow, those people are going to get, like, no sleep. Like, they're going to know what happened in the game. It's like, what happens? Like, they scored less points.
Weather delay.
What bullshit. Guys, we're hearing here that the game is actually what happened was that the Dallas Cowboys were not winning the game, so that they created a rainstorm to hold it off. And
that's why I like played in the stadium with a roof,
I can't believe they don't all have roofs by now.
Yeah, I know.
You shouldn't have a roof if you play where football was. If you play during the regular season in an area where football was developed, you shouldn't be allowed to have a roof.
I remember in high school going out and playing in the rain and the freaking mud.
Yeah, I played in the rain a lot.
And, we fucking, if the lightning just got too close or too scary, then they'd fucking call the game. But shit, we went out in the elements and we played.
We would play in the rain. And then, we would have a game in the rain, and then the whole week we wouldn't be able to practice on the field because they're fixing it for the next game. We'd have to go play in the dirt.
Yeah.
Wow, this woman has super crazy eyes. She frightens me. She looks like a bunny boiling psychopath, but I would still make sex on her. Anyone else?
This is the lady... We know her as the sports journalist in Happy Gilmore.
She's
it's not her. She's in the new show Family Matters. She's one of the wives and not Family Matters. The one with Al Bundy and Sofia Vergara.
That's gone for a while now, but I think Family Matters.
Wasn't Family Matters with Urkel?
Yeah, you're right. I forget what that stupid show was
It's
called.
something. But whatever that
Family-
show is, she was on that show also.
Help us, Chuck. Help me.
Oh, and
That show's
hi
gone for a
Leia
while.
and hi Kronos.
Kronos took off. He said
Oh,
later,
did he? Bye, Kronos. He's like, I'm gonna go watch another game.
more entertaining YouTube is.
Well, this is a bummer.
It is a bummer.
Okay, that does look kind of ugly. I'm not saying they should stop play, but see, they do it. Krakow! Oh man, I can only imagine. I hope somebody doesn't get struck by lightning. They'll never bring those towels out again. There's no T in football. Well, there is technically, but you know what I mean.
Oh, look at that.
Fumbalaya!
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh, introception.
My friend is like texting me about the Mets game, and he's like a little upset. So like he's talking about some of the rules of like the ALDS, and I just was like, so I decided to go with the hard troll back, and I'm like, I'm opposed to the idea of divisional play. There should just be one, like the two highest winning teams should simply meet in a single World Series. Also, Jackie Robinson dragged the league in a terrible direction. That should have been put off for many more years. It's just like that. I see the three little things that says typing. I was like, well, we got insane, asshole,
Oh, it's so funny.
SDFU. LGM, yeah. My
Well, you said Jackie
from New York,
Robinson. It reminded me. They're like, there's this comedian that talks about the like when Jackie's like Jackie Robinson. He like just beat the baseball out of white people. He's like, we were still talking like, man, this is a great day for baseball, Shane. Man. And he's like, oh, look at this young colored boy coming up to bat. Oh, and it's a home run. Fuck, good hit.
The reason why people were so acceptant of Jackie Robinson is because in the National League they didn't serve alcohol in the stadiums, so people were not as drunk. If he had been in the American, well, it takes like another few years before the American League has a black player come in, and what they have to do, I guess, is like cut off beer in like the third inning for games where he started like. We have to check everybody for guns before you go into the stadium. It's like, why? It's like, you'll find out. You'll know later.
Crap.
It'll be very clear.
I think this is where I'm going to have to stop. I was hoping to watch some football.
Not an ounce of football. Damn, they really,
I'm sorry, Bill.
No. Not your fault.
Here's my question. How long does it take to
about an hour and
an NHL game?
Pre-game.
Thinking at least a quarter, right?
We have to like make a decision here in a little while because I don't know how long the league has to call off a game, and they're not going to let us know even if they can't do it.
Well, you think even if it starts now, you're like, oh, 9 o'clock minimum. You know what I mean?
What? I don't want to be. I want your opinion on one quick thing before we go.
Yep. What you got?
Today we saw what the league and the world thinks of the New York Jets as we concentrate more on the Jets' failure during this delay in the game. That's all they've talked about. Now that Brett Favre is facing conviction and life in prison for welfare fraud and stealing from the poorest of people and shaking down his state's governor in a really messed up bribery scandal, not only has he ruined the end of Something About Mary, do you think that do you think that from now on, when we see him, they're going to show a picture of him in his Jets uniform and say former Jets quarterback? Right? Has he now cemented his place in popular history as a Jet?
That's the
And
only
someone
football
named
game I
Brett-
have too.
Brett Favre was the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre was a Jet.
Yeah, that's funny.
And the funny thing
Oh
about him being a
man.
Jet was he was kicked out of town early for sexually harassing and being horrible to all the female trainers.
Oh goodness. There was signs, I guess.
Yeah, when all their phones were
Oh
on fire
man.
from the text messages of him
Well,
sending dick
crap.
pics.
I do have to go because I got to do a couple things before 6. So
All right.
sorry, but
I'm gonna draw. You know
Coming.
what, Padawan? I'm gonna start walking over to your place. I'll be there by the time the game starts.
by the time the game starts, for real, for
Good
real.
talking to you,
But yeah,
buddy.
I'll
I'm
look
glad
out
we
for
got to hang
the.
out.
I'll watch out for the next game.
Okay.
So you guys
It's
have a
great
great
to see
one,
you.
and we'll see you when we see you.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Go football.
Bill. Yeah, go football if it happens. I love that
If
this
it
delay of game has given us a chance to focus on how much the Jets have failed.
Oh gosh.
We will not stop talking about how failed the Jets are. That's like the story of this halftime. It's like we can't get football, but there are worse things than not having a game. For instance, the Jets played today. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I don't know what to say either.
We've been on for 90 minutes trying to get this game on, which means that if the game starts in 2 minutes, we'll be on for like 7.5 hours. We're at the 2 hour mark. We're out. If they haven't started playing football, it'll just be too much time. I'm not going 6 hours.
Yeah, no. I'm the same way. I'm like,
Of course, Sam Darnold plays great now that he's not a Jet. What I love is that this was all on Aaron Rodgers, really, for that pick six was the difference in the game. He's a fucking loser. I wish they would put the names of their analysts up because this is like the C team of C teams.
blah 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 blah. Don't ever the feeling. Blah 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 blah.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. There's a reason it's this bad. Our
Yeah.
primary writers and our primary talent are tied up. They're waiting for the game to start. They are in a room, cooling down, not even watching this. They're playing video games. They're trying to stay loose, and they're trying not to get too bummed out about the fact that this is now turning into an 8-hour commitment. But we see people looking to be emerging from the locker room, but nothing currently in a weather delay still. But this could be archival footage from last week. There's no evidence we're going to play this game. Browns Washington Commanders game. Wow, what an incredible catch and pass.
What a boring pregame.
Who the hell is that? Is that John Walsh from America's Most Wanted interviewing this player? The person looks so washed out, it's like an effect. Um, this sucks and I'm bored. Let's see if we can get a fucking report on this fucking weather delay. We're in Pittsburgh. Okay. We have the latest for our fans. Outlaw,
Yeah.
go ahead and present what we have on screen so we can give our fans the latest.
Okay.
As you can see here, near Ashtabula, Ohio, we have Meadville, Pennsylvania. Slightly south of that, we have Pittsburgh, near Newcastle. And as we can see, there are particularly intense storms, and the storms are not passing over the stadium in like a east to west fashion, but a north to south fashion. And as I put the weather map into motion, you know what? It is possible that they are moving east to west. So it'll be raining here in New York tomorrow in the middle of the night, but I am unable to ascertain the extent of this storm because by all means, they should be playing football right now
Yeah.
based on this map. What's your opinion of this,
When did
Bill?
the NFL become pussies?
You know, a little cloud the ground lightning never hurt anybody, and now we're going to make a big effing deal over the fact that a few thousand people might get electrocuted. Ugh, you know, Bill, have you seen Some of All Fears? Yeah,
Not since it came out. So I think that movie kind of I forgot about that whole movie.
Oh, that one had a much worse football game than this one. Nothing half as bad as what happened in Some of All Fears could happen in this football game.
Wow. How much longer should we go? Should we give it to the 2 hour mark? I mean,
That's
we're
as
at
far as I'm willing to
140.
go. As
We're
far
at
as I'm willing to go.
140. We're at 140
If we don't have play at the 2 hour mark, I'm out. Because that would mean I don't give a fuck.
I'm ready to pack it in right now. I want a football, not this stuff.
All right, let's switch gears here. Can we save this? Do you have the fucking Yankee game?
I don't know. Where's it being played?
I don't know. Google. You're the one in control. I don't.
uh,
Let me look, though. Fubo? Something weird like that?
where is it? Game 2. Where is it?
I have San Diego, LA, Major League Baseball. That game went off, started on time at 8:30, 8 p.m. Sorry.
I see Yankees and the Royals tomorrow at 4:30.
What network is it on?
I don't know. Yeah.
I'll just go to the game.
They're not telling me here.
I'll just go to the. I'll just take the. I'll take the subway to the game. Friends, right now over in the world of Major League Baseball, the San Diego Dodgers lead the San Diego Dodgers. The San Diego Padres lead the Los Angeles Dodgers 3-1 in the bottom of the third inning here in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium. Hugh Darvish on the mound. And that's fouled down the first base line. Count goes to 0-1, and Ohtani wants to get it on a bat. Seems to have cracked this one. It's October baseball, Outlaw Bill.
Yeah.
If you have FS, the game is currently on FS1, if you have that. They're acting like they made people leave the stadium or go somewhere safe. They're just waiting for this to blow over so that they can go film this game. They don't give a fuck about the people in the stadium.
No.
They didn't clear the stadium.
No.
I want this game played in an empty stadium after all this bullshit. I want it cleared for safety. By the way, this year in the Major League Baseball playoffs, like little clown boys, we have put advertisements for something called Strauss on every player's helmet. I've never heard of it before. It's a hell of a debut. And now, like, on uniform endorsements and ads are just the norm. This Darvish guy appears to be a different
Howdy,
Darvish.
Ray Luckard.
Hey, Ray Luckard. There's no such thing as baseball in October. That's funny. I live in Queens, and we have OMG October Met games. And you know, as far as the OMG, what
we might do it again tomorrow night. We might do it in MLB tomorrow night. The Yankees, if we can get it. If you want to, Tig.
I would love to watch the Yankee game since I have no other means to. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here. Why aren't we seeing, some shots of outside the stadium? It's too dangerous to turn on the external cam, show us something. Let's see the lightning streaking across the sky if it's so dangerous. This, to me, seems to be yet another manufactured farce in the fixed football league known as the NFL. You know, maybe college isn't fixed yet, but I have come to the conclusion that probably because Dax Prescott wasn't ready to really go tonight, or some other key player was injured, or because the imagination machine that causes the games to be displayed in the way the league wants them to broke down somehow, we're going to delay this game as though football isn't a man's game. And like little clown boys, we're going to wait inside out of the rain while the fans sit in the rain and pay to drink beer. I'm willing to bet it's never been so cold on October 6th for the people in this stadium, huh?
Oh, hey, David. How you doing, David? I don't think there's going to be a game tonight. If it is, we're not going to probably be bringing it to you because the rain delay. They're scared of some lightning and thunder. Every stadium should have a ceiling and a roof. Look at this Pittsburgh guy. He's happy. Wow. He got the. You had a Pittsburgh fan, get the highlight reel of the night, ladies and gentlemen, with his arms reached skyward, shouting up, "Blame it on the rain!"
They are finally trying to pretend that this game is going to get underway soon. They are making allusions to the idea the game is underway. At this point, what can they say except that maybe there will be a game? It's not like we have a goddamn roof. Just put the fucking players on the field, and if someone gets struck by lightning, I'm willing to live with it. I'll be fine, right? I mean, I'm not the one out there on the field. I'm the one waiting for this game for an hour and 47 minutes. We lost our play-by-play guy. We should be at least 5 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah.
We're not committing to broadcasting the whole game anymore.
Players are spoiled. In the 70s, they would have played. I know, right? They would have played in the mud. And they,
you know what?
all this time that they've been stalling, they could have been playing.
And all these rule changes to protect the players. Remember when shotgun meant that a couple of players got to fire shotguns at the members of the other team? But now, no. Remember when pistol, and then the pistol was the quarterback had a pistol, but it only had one round in it. We spun the cylinder and he took his chances, but you also took yours in a pass rush. And that always made the game really interesting. And I've seen a lot of those NFL films productions when they had the shotgun a couple of times. You know what? They really just kind of like trench swept their way. Nothing opens up a hole like 12 gauge, right? Through a offensive line. I've also thought that possibly in the future, flashbang grenades could play an interesting role in the NFL. An unused resource by the league, Bill.
Mm-hmm. If this game gets played ever, mainly tonight, we will.
They have 11 minutes to tell us.
We will have the replay highlights. We'll at least cover the highlights for you, and we'll take the game.
What? We're coming back tomorrow with the highlights. That works for me. They have exactly 9 minutes and 48 seconds to start this goddamn game. What's really hurting this game more than anything else is the third-tier, third-rate double backup team that is now taking us through this delay, because there's been a long, long day of football and talent is stretched thin. And like I said, our primary announcers, our primary writers, our primary cameramen, our primary character generator guys, They're waiting for a real long game. That's what they get paid to do. They're taking a break now, getting something to eat, staying dry, getting ready to sock in there for what could be a long night. These people are the backups of the backups of the backups. It's so late in the day. This is unforeseen. By the way, the last time I remember a football game delayed by lightning was the Jet game and that I watched from my dorm room against the Colts.
Wow.
Pete Carroll was the coach of the Jets for that game. Boomer Esiason was the quarterback.
We got 10 minutes. I can't hear the.
Well, here's the thing: we're at the top of the hour, right? We're at the top of the hour now. It's a prime time hour. What they're going to try to do, and by the way, they're playing a baseball game worth watching over on Fox Sports 1. And what they're going to try to do is create some excitement when we come back from this break, and we'll know in about the time we have given them whether or not they're bullshitting us. Because when they come back, it's going to be all phony enthusiasm. They're going to act like the game is going to happen in about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, you finally turned off the sound of their shrill cackling? Thank you, God. These horrible people, these horrible people are probably decent human beings, but they are like horrible, like third-tier broadcasters from the in need of help pile. We have a chick I've never seen before. We have two former players not known for personality, and one other professional broadcaster trying to cobble together something from the ruins of this game. We see that there's the danger of death and lightning, but to which the Steelers fans say, "Let me take off my shirt and stand around in the lightning." A lot of fans not bothering to go inside. And wow, yep, they're finally showing us the receipts. There is, in fact, lightning over the stadium, although I'm betting that wasn't live. I'm hoping that's from a while ago. Let's talk about another new team from New York that also is terrible but did not lose today. It's the New York Giants. They played the hapless Seattle Seahawks and former Jet quarterback Geno Smith. Darius Slayton with a touchdown in the cause early. And then on a 4th and 1, we see that Geno Smith is sacked behind the line of scrimmage with 14 minutes left to play. And on the 4th and 4, they opt to kick the field goal. But no, it's intercepted. What a disaster. Did someone get a hand on that one? Ran it all the way back for a touchdown. You watch football, you'll see that about once every 3 years. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen that in an NFL level. How about you, Bill?
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. All right, here go the Rams. Wow, that should be a safety. Oh, my God. The attempt to throw away the ball to prevent the 2-point safety ends up in an interception and a 6-point touchdown. Congratulations to the LA Rams with their gift. They played the Packers today. Joining action late in the game with 4 minutes left to play, the Packers managed to score, bringing the game to a pretty out of reach 23-13. Final score 24-19. Garbage time touchdown for the LA, I believe.
Yeah.
Matthew Staff infection, not having the best game. 29 for 45. I don't know what to make. Honestly, that actually is a decent game. But he only threw for 260 yards with close to 30 completions.
All right, I'm calling it. I'm calling this game. I'm calling it quits for this Sunday night football.
Thank you for joining us in this absolute disaster of a non-event. We tried. Yeah. God himself hated the idea of us broadcasting this game and stepped in to prevent it. Who are we to say otherwise? For some reason, episodes of The Acolyte go off without a hitch. Now, Bill and I will continue to commiserate and talk about how unhappy we are together off air. It's been great having you here with us. And I guess now the cope session will start. It's been good seeing you. I'm your buddy, Admiral Teague. Check out my Star Trek Enterprise watch parties on Saturday nights at 9:30, and look for uploads during the week and occasional live streams with Hollywood news.
And I'll give you guys some pussy as you see your way out. Because I got a lot of pussy over here.
Bugger off. You bastards. Bugger off.
See, what?
We'll be back tomorrow for the New York Yankees versus the Cleveland Indians. Who's the opponent tomorrow? It's the White Sox, right? Kansas City Royals.
Yes.
Just checking. All right, guys. We'll be back. For now, we want to thank everybody.
We'll see you on the OCHO.
On the O.B.S.N. Sports Network, where tonight it was the Seinfeld of broadcasts, a game about nothing. I think they're going to call this one in about an hour, and it's going to end up, if they do play this, my God, have fun out in California where you'll get to watch a bunch of people on the East Coast playing past midnight, and you'll be laughing because it'll be like 8 p.m. So you'll finally get normal football. Everyone else will find out tomorrow. Nobody cares.
That's for sure.
At this point, I don't care anymore.
Oh, I guess I should end the stream.
You should press the button where we go away. Goodbye, everybody. We love you all.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
All right.
Goodbye. Have a beautiful day. Yeah. Coming up next.